So the story of Gap Relief actually started in an airport. Not to be cheesy, we're actually in an airport. Our flight got bumped, so we just went with it. And so we need to do some videos, so we're just doing it. And so actually it's kind of cool though, because the story of Gap Relief started in an airport on our way to Malawi, Africa, where we had some friends who experienced a critical incident, and we went to go take trauma care to them. Not really existing as Gap Relief yet, just responding to friends we care about. And so that is for sure where the story of Gap Relief started.
Yeah, even prior to that, I think Amy and I had both had individual experiences internationally, like where we had kind of noticed the trauma and the stress that a lot of international leaders are under, and kind of having something inside of us saying, what would it be like to go towards that and take care of those people at some point? And so, as Amy just described, we found ourselves kind of in Malawi, Africa, doing that and taking care of people. And when we got back to the airport after the trip, we kind of looked at each other and went, like, I wonder if that's the last time we're going to do that.
Yeah, we for sure knew there was more, and there was. And so from that point forward, we started to begin to have people that we've been connected to reach out. They heard a little bit about what we did in Africa, and they said, hey, what you did there, can you do here? And so it just began a series of multiple events where we traveled internationally, responded to our friends who were working in high trauma impact areas, and we just began to resource them, and it just began to become a theme. And so then, as we also simultaneously were doing that, we were also noticing the needs of Northwest Arkansas. How do we help the helpers in Northwest Arkansas build resilient communities, much like we were seeing our friends overseas do?
Yeah, and that kind of just began organically. It felt like we had connections in different sectors that were high trauma impacted in Northwest Arkansas, from law enforcement and first responders to educators, other nonprofit leaders. And so began to pilot some of the same training and some of the same equipping and trauma care that we've done internationally with different sectors in Northwest Arkansas over time. And a lot of that just continued to come forward through relationships. Still at this time, we weren't necessarily even thinking, oh, we're going to build a nonprofit and we're going to have a nonprofit someday. It just started to happen.
Right, and then now our present day, we have a team who jumped on the mission with us. They too see the benefit of helping the helpers. They go on these international trips with us. They are a part of the clinic where people come and get their trauma care here locally in Northwest Arkansas. And so we are surrounded by like-hearted, like-minded people now, and we're all just working together for this thing called Gap Relief. And so we are very passionate about helping the helpers. We see the benefit of trauma-impacted systems having help outside of the counseling office, and so we do a little bit of everything now, and we continue to ask and look at the future, who is Gap Relief?
It's been really cool to see just how our team has formed and come together from honestly really just kind of listening and paying attention to what played out in front of us and what pulled us forward and the needs that we saw with the equipping that we have as trauma care professionals to take that forward. It's been really neat to see how those things have unfolded over time, and we are excited about and passionate about continuing to help the helpers build resilient communities.
Absolutely. So we are actually headed home now to get back to work.